Okay. I want to make sure I'm being consistent with this YouTube thing. It's one of my favorite things to do, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the heck to talk about. Like, I don't know. I don't know what would touch somebody. I don't know what would make somebody laugh. So I'm going to get straight to the point. Something that has been, I guess, helping me through life lately is practicing acceptance. My therapist and I talked about that yesterday, and I've always struggled with that. Life is hard. I don't care what anybody says. Once you become an adult, and not even just when you're an adult, from the time you're born, it feels like, oh my God, I did not ask for this. So I've always struggled with acceptance because of painful things that I've gone through, painful situations. I've always been haunted by these thoughts like, why did I have to go through this? Why do I seem to have bad luck in this certain area in my life? Why have I had so many heartbreaks, and not just romantic heartbreaks? It's like, I saw a girl make a video the other day on IG. She was like, why are the sweetest people in the world always taking hits from left to right, left to right? And I resonated with that because that's how it feels. Growing up, I don't know how y'all were raised, but my grandmother always taught me, when you're a kind person, you have a kind heart, you will be blessed. And I'm not saying that that's not true, but as I get older, I feel like you got to tweak that a little bit. Some people in life that you'll come across, some people take you being kind for granted, and they take it as you being a fool. So a lot of people would try to pull a fast one on you and do all of this. The point that I'm trying to make is, you're being genuine. Don't expect that everybody that you come across in your life is going to be genuine. So just to circle back, because I'm getting off track, ADHD. At 30 years old, I'm just now becoming comfortable with the last stage of grief, which is acceptance. Not to say that things don't still make me sad when I think about them. Not to say I don't have bad days still from, when I think about old things. But lately, I just feel like I can breathe a little bit better. Like, I feel lighter when I don't make everything that I've gone through so personal to me. My therapist and I were talking about how we can always choose different stories, that we tell ourselves. And I already have a video on my page about that. But, for example, I was telling her an example of like, I kind of still feel angry. And I feel a certain way that, I had to go through this situation. I didn't deserve that. I didn't do anything to warrant this experience in my life. And, we did this exercise on a paper, and she was like, oh, well, what are some other thoughts, that you can grab or just go towards instead of this one? And I told her, I was like, well, hold up. I don't want to gaslight myself now. I don't want to be out here making excuses for people being cruel to me. I don't want to do that. She was like, no, we're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is choose healthier thoughts. We're going to go and grasp for something just a little bit lighter. So, I'm going to try to get to the point. I'm freestyling this video, but I think a part of acceptance is kind of making things less personal. When somebody does something to you, sometimes you got to look at them and say, hey, maybe this person, I don't know, maybe they're carrying a lot on their shoulders or on their heart. So in turn, they're carrying all this pain, and, they decide that they're going to, give it to the next person, which is very, very unfair and unfortunate, And I was telling her, I'm kind of frustrated because I don't think that way. Not to say that I'm perfect and I've never pissed anyone off, but I've never just, straight up try to put somebody through something that I've been through that I know is extremely painful or hurtful, or so I was telling her that's my frustration. I don't want to gaslight myself into making excuses, so that letting people off the hook. But she said that's not the way to think about it. She said some people are just not where you are. Some people don't see it that way. Some people don't even know that they're passing their pain onto other people. So that's what I've been practicing and reaching for this past week. Thinking of very specific situations that, still may hurt or make me feel heavy sometimes. And I just tell myself different stories, and it's brought me to a place of acceptance. And, I've always thought that I accept the situation for what it is, or I accept that this person is the way that they are, but I still have a little bit of anger and I'm upset. But now I'm at a place where I feel a sense of peace. And I have the understanding that this is life. I hate to say it like this, but nobody's safe from having a bad experience or, having their heart broken. It's just the risk that we take, when we have new friendships and we get close to people, or when we just take a risk in general with a new job or anything. Like I just moved a few months ago. That was a risk for me. And we just can't beat ourselves up. We can't sit and wake up every day and let other people's decision making make us feel bad and take away our joy. So I hope this video made sense, but that's what's really helping me recently. Seeing things from a more logical standpoint instead of very, very, very personal. I want to give y'all an example, but I don't want to make it too personal. It's almost like, she was giving me an example of, you're at work and, you're passing by one of your coworkers and you say, "Hey girl, good morning." And she just walks right past you. And my therapist was like, okay. She was like, you probably feel upset. You probably start questioning yourself. I said, I wouldn't question myself. I told her, I was like, if somebody did that to me, my first thought would be, that was rude as hell. I'm never going to say good morning to her again. And then we went through the practice and she was like, well, what are some things or thoughts that you could go for rather than saying, oh, this person is an a-hole, this person is a jerk, or they might be prejudiced or something. She was like, well, maybe this person is going through their own problems and they're in their own head, they're in their own world, and maybe they don't intend to come off that way. It's just maybe right now, just they don't have it. They don't have it to just be kind and let people into their bubble. They just want to be themselves. And again, we're not excusing poor behavior, but I'm learning to reach more for logical thoughts rather than making it so personal to me, because that coworker is very well or probably going to do that to a lot more people. And that's actually a good example, because I speak to people all the time and I get pissed when they don't say anything back. So now I practice this, acceptance thing. I'm like, I'm just going to accept the fact that, maybe they're going through something. Maybe they're backed up. Maybe they haven't boo-boo good in a while. Like, I try to even tell myself funny stories, but on a serious note, you can also apply that to very hurtful and devastating situations in your life. And that's been bringing me so much peace lately. Most things that people do to you, they do impact you and they do traumatize you and they do put you in therapy, but sometimes you gotta kind of feel sorry for them that they're leaving like a trail of tears behind them. That's something they're going to have to deal with later. But I just have the understanding that, not everybody is at a place where, they're processing things the healthy way, or they've even gotten a chance to process things. And some people, again, not making excuses for grown adults, but some people just haven't really had a good example of a healthy way to interact with people, a healthy way to show up in a relationship. So again, I'm at a place where I'm not going to let anybody mistreat me or just do whatever they want. But I kind of, I guess step outside of myself and I try to see, okay, what have they gone through? What was their childhood like? That's probably why they're treating me like this. You know, what is their relationship history? What did they just go through? They could have just went through something. Maybe that's why they are, you know, stern with me or curt with me, or maybe that's why they hurt me. I mean, I was just the closest thing to them, and I was just the easiest, I guess, to take their problems or their anger out on. I don't know. Y'all get the point that I'm trying to make. But yeah. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. That's something that's bringing me a lot of peace. I used to think that I was accepting things, but I would still be very angry and ruminate all the time and think like, why would they do that to me? Why would they do that? I would have never done that to them. I'm so giving. I showed up for them. Why didn't they show up for me? You know, I have been haunted by those type of thoughts all the time. But recently I've noticed those thoughts have definitely gotten more and more quiet, and I just take a deep breath and I just accept things as they are right now. Even the climate in the world, I'm accepting it. It's out of my control. I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got. I'm accepting right now, you know, with the job situation, the federal government, and all these changes that are going on that are affecting the world. I have to accept it. This is what we're gonna be dealing with for the next several years or even longer. And I'm not going to stay up stressing about it. That's another example of acceptance. It doesn't always have to be that deep. But I hope somebody likes this video. A little bit all over the place. That's just how I am. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. Please let me know if it touched you. Or, you know, if you have any other ideas or anything you would like for me to talk about in the next video. Like, I love to talk, y'all. I mean, if you want to ask me to make a video about veganism, you know, my vegan anniversary is coming up, 11 years. I can talk about that. I can talk about ADHD, you know, the medication. We could talk about natural hair. We can talk about some crazy life experiences I've had that are funny. Girl and guys, days and dims. We can talk about whatever. This is my hobby. Again, I'm doing this for my mental health. I love YouTube. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is my hobby. This is pouring into me instead of just sitting around all day focusing on problems and stuff. Like, this is healthier. So yeah, so I really appreciate you if you tuned in. If you made it to the end of the video, please leave a yellow heart. That way I know that you watched the entire video. But I hope that everyone has a very good week, month, year. 2025 has been very heavy so far, but we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. We need to accept what's going on right now and buckle down and only focus on what's in our control. That's something I've struggled with, but I'm getting better with it, accepting things that are out of my control. So yeah.